Now, before I start the video, I have a simple question to ask. Would you buy the Xbox Series X 3 years after its release? Now, it's been almost 3 years since the release of the Xbox Series X, and I think that after a massive amount of time using it, I've pretty much garnered all my thoughts surrounding its overall performance. And in this video, I'll be going over many questions that I have when it comes to the future of the Series X, going over different things that I loved about it, while simultaneously discussing things that I thought could be improved, discussing the updated features, showing its updated gaming catalog, and also giving my input on many accessories that improve the gamer's experience. And now, it's been so long since the Xbox Series X has come out, and there have been many changes. The UI has improved significantly, a ton of new games have been amazing, and there have been many new accessories and customizations that will make the Xbox truly yours. So if you're someone who is thinking about buying an Xbox Series X, or you just want to know more about it, hopefully this video can help you make a decision on if the Series X is right for you. Now, as always, the main thing that makes a console great is its gaming catalog, and the Series X has a ton of different games that'll satisfy you no matter what genre of games that you like. And unlike the PS5, Microsoft isn't the strongest in the game in terms of big name exclusives, but I think that what they really excel at is their indie games and lower to mid-tier exclusives. And I want to let you guys in on the games that I've been playing. Now, starting with Hi-Fi Rush, it's an amazing Xbox exclusive game where you can play as Chai, a young guy who's really into rock and gets a music player stuck inside him due to a mishap, and that's pretty much the main basis of the game. With each battle, you're moving on to the beat of the music, there's amazing boss battles, the movement within the fighting is incredible, and the visuals are stunning, especially since it's aligned with great storytelling. Forza Horizon is one of the bigger name titles on the Series X, and I had no other option than to include it. It's an amazing simulation racing game that not only has arguably the best graphics within a game that I've ever seen, but it's also a ton of fun since you can explore an open world, you can collect different cars, play the very in-depth story mode, and even do amazing challenges to show how good your racing skills actually are. Halo Infinite is another amazing title that I've really grown to love. It has really good storytelling in its campaign mode, which allows you to roam freely since it's sort of an open world experience. You have the multiplayer mode that includes fun games like Slayer, Oddball, and Capture the Flag, which is my personal favorite. And there are so many underrated games that the Xbox Series X has. Again, it's not the greatest when it comes to big name exclusives, but if you do get a Series X, you won't have any shortage of fun if you're willing to explore games that don't have a high marketing budget. Also, at the time of me making this video, the new Starfield game is coming out, so I hope that future me won't be disappointed. And something that's even better about being able to explore big and small name games on the Series X is that you don't even have to pay for them in full. Every single one of these games that I've mentioned is included in arguably the best feature that the Series X has, and that's Game Pass. Now, Game Pass is basically an all-inclusive subscription where you can pay monthly to access hundreds of Xbox and big market games via cloud or download. Every single game in Game Pass is playable in full, and this is truly where the Series X proves its greatness. If you just want to access hundreds of games, get exclusive deals, and discounts on games that aren't included in the membership, you'll only be paying $10 a month for the basic version. But if you want to get the Ultimate Edition, where you'll be able to get all things that's included in the basic version, be able to play across all Microsoft-owned devices, and have Xbox Live Gold, which allows you to play online with your friends, then the Ultimate Game Pass might be more catered for you. And personally, I love Game Pass because, as you guys know, games have gotten very expensive. Each game now is around $40 to $70, which means that if there's 4 games that you really want to buy, you'll easily be spending $200 to $300, which is way too much money. And even if you think the Ultimate Edition is too much money to be spending every month, think about it like this. Let's say you buy 4 games and they're $70 a piece. That equals up to $280. But let's say you sign up with Game Pass and you go for the Ultimate Edition. If you spend $17, times 12 months a year, you're basically spending $204, which is less money than buying 4 brand new games. And even if you want the basic plan that's $10 a month, you're only spending $120 a year, which is an even better deal. Again, hundreds of games in your catalog for less money than buying 4 games full. Like my dad always says, you can't beat that with a bet. Another benefit is that there's no waiting. So say there's a new game that's coming out and it's going to be on Game Pass, you will be able to play that game on the first day as soon as the clock hits 12. The list of games is amazing. You'll be able to play every single Xbox Series X and S exclusive. You'll also be able to play EA games from Madden, NHL, the Star Wars series, and all their other sports games and shooters. Game Pass gets even better since Microsoft has recently acquired Activision, so there's a possibility that we'll be getting brand new Call of Duty games on the first day of their release. The Series X is also backwards compatible, which means that you can play Xbox One, Xbox 360, and original Xbox games on it, which increases its gaming catalog 1,000 times. Now, finishing out the gaming section of this video, the last thing that I wanted to touch on was the overall performance of the Xbox Series X, and as we all know, the graphics are stunning. Its ray tracing technology makes the games feel very realistic, while also catering to certain games' attention to detail, and the Xbox Series X is 4K all the way through, which means that it doesn't hold back in the graphics department. The Series X also supports VRR, which basically adjusts the settings to whatever monitor you're using. So if you have a monitor or TV that supports a 120Hz refresh rate, then the Series X will adjust to that. Again, everything looks amazing, and if you're someone who wants the ultimate visual experience, then you won't be disappointed. Now, my favorite feature on the Series X was easily quick resume, which allows you to jump between games without having to save or close them. Like for example, I can switch between 3 different games and it will go to the exact point where I left off at, which means that I can play many different games without having to restart the app. And this is something that I will use very frequently whenever I had to leave the house to do chores or simply just play another game. It was very fast and it really helped when I didn't feel like saving my game or closing the app. Now, looking at the design of the Xbox Series X, I really love the simplicity of its look. It's a very sharp, solid, and uniform looking box that looks very good in my opinion, since it's not as flashy as the PS5. The simplicity definitely benefits the Series X since it requires less maintenance. I didn't have to take anything off because the design is very simple, and I didn't really have to customize it since it's matte and I love the color black. It made placing it so much easier because the ventilation is at the top, so if you lay it flat or have it standing up, you'll be able to get good ventilation. Also, it was a perfect size, so I could put it anywhere I wanted to, as long as there was good ventilation for it to breathe, of course. The matte material still has great benefits, as you can see. There's little to no scratches, it's easier to clean, and I didn't have to pay extra money since it came in this material. And now when it comes to buttons and ports, the Series X only has 3 different buttons, including the Xbox symbol power button, the eject button for this, and the controller button that connects your controller to your Xbox. The eject tray was also very minimal yet discreet, and I think that pretty much summarizes everything about the look on the Series X, which can either be a turnoff or very intriguing. And now something that still bothers me till this day is the fact that the Series X didn't have 2 ports like the PS5, and most importantly, the fact that they didn't have a USB-C port. And I really hated this since my favorite charger is USB-C to USB-C. I use this cord for all of my gaming devices, but I couldn't use it since my Xbox is still using USB, which was pretty disappointing. But again, I love the discreet look that it offered, so if you're considering getting something that's very discreet, easy to clean, and simple, the Xbox fits your style. Now, looking at the home screen and UI of the Xbox Series X, you can clearly tell it's inspired by Windows as it continues the very boxy looking applications. It felt incredibly smooth to scroll through. Everything was completely laid out and easy to see, and I like how it feels like it keeps the essence of previous Xboxes. The home screen has changed since the first time I bought my Xbox Series X. Whenever you scroll through different apps and games, the background would change just like the PS5, and I really like it since it adds depth and feels much more immersive. Also, if you're not much of a fan of the always changing background, you also have the option to set it to a default background, and Xbox offers many different wallpapers, from the simple color ones, the Xbox Inspire ones, the dynamic ones that are my personal favorite and are often attached to a game that you like, and you can also put your own picture, which is a great way to make the Series X even more personal. And taking a look at the quick menu, the Xbox Series X has a very clean yet effective setup. I could scroll through each menu with a click of a button, and everything was labeled so you won't have any trouble finding anything. And now looking at the Xbox Series X controller, everything was pretty much the same as the Xbox One controller, but has been made to be more comfortable. It has a smaller size, which helps when you're gaming with big or small hands. On the front, there's the Xbox power button, which looks really good. And then we have the fresher looking D-pad along with the asymmetrical sticks. And the material is more rugged, which counts for a better grip. And now the D-pad looks fine, but over the years, I've noticed that it looks really cheap when compared to the Elite 2 controller or even the Series 2 controller, which honestly is a bummer since this controller is pretty costly, and I really wish they would have made the Series 2 the original Xbox controller. But besides the functionality of the Series X controller, I really love the amazing colors that the controller has available. You have the really cool special edition Starfield controller, which is my favorite controller till this day, and you have so many different colors and choices to fit whatever you like. And what's even better is the fact that just like previous generations, Microsoft allows you to edit your controllers. If you don't like any of the color options that they have, it will cost you more, but I think that it's pretty cool since it gives gamers more freedom and customization. And now, depending on the type of gamer you are, there will be many different accessories that you're going to be on the lookout for to accommodate your needs to perform better. If you are a more serious gamer that plays first-person shooters like Call of Duty, the Xbox Series X has some pretty great controller options that will help. You can buy the Xbox Elite controller that comes with a ton of features and accessories itself, like the ability to change joysticks and back pedals for a more comfortable gameplay. You can adjust the sensitivity for your triggers and analog sticks for better movement and trigger fire, and even set up your own custom profiles so that you don't have to keep editing your game style settings. The materials on this controller feel much better and less cheap than the original controller. And if the Elite 2 controller is too expensive for you, you can also get the Series 2 controller that is also very comparable to the Elite, but doesn't have as many accessories that comes with the Elite version. Last but not least, I wanted to touch on some dislikes that I've experienced with my Series X after almost 3 years of use. Just like my issues with the PS5, I didn't like the stock storage. If you want to get a couple of games, more than likely your storage will be full before you even know it, which means that you'll have to buy more storage if you want more games. Moving on to my next problem, Even though the Series X has a lot of games, I would like to see more big name exclusives in the works going into the end of the year. Again, Starfield and Forza is coming out, but that's pretty much the only hype that I have for exclusive games going into the end of the year. And finally, I really wish Xbox would have put more effort into the stock controller. I really admire how PlayStation had an amazing controller that feels premium and has a ton of features, and I would have liked Microsoft to put in that same effort. So here's the final question. Is the Xbox Series X worth buying after 3 years? Well, in my personal opinion, I would say yeah. Because if you buy the Xbox Series X, it's basically like owning a mini PC that is powerful as and you'll have a ton of fun with the mini games that it has to offer, especially if you're interested in something like Game Pass. And let me know down in the comments, what made you buy or want to buy an Xbox Series X and why? Let me know down below. And again, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace.